let's move over to this now. Sarafina has been selected for the 2023 official selection Cannes Classics. The Cannes Classics selection recognizes films which are deemed to be works of great quality. Sarafina has contributed to the evolution of motion picture art and encouraged the development of the film industry. To tell us more about this amazing achievement, we're joined by the producer, Mr. Anant Singh, and one of the lead actors in that particular movie, Miss Leleti Khumalo. Thank you very much to you both for joining us this Sunday afternoon. Ms. Khumalo, I'm going to start with you about the recognition that Sarafina has received 30 years after it came onto our screens, and what it says to the quality of work that we're able to produce as South Africa.
You know, this is amazing news. This is not only about me, it's not about Anant, this is about South Africa. You know, this movie was made like 30 years ago, and it's still relevant even now. And as you can see, it's been recognized in Cannes again to be the classic movies. It is amazing. It says a lot about South Africa. It has put South Africa again on the global map. So if this movie was made when it was time for us to get Oscars and whatever, we would have gotten an Oscar. But again, let me not go there. Let me just celebrate what has happened to Sarafina again.
Yeah, Mr. Singh, I want to bring you in, but before we do, let's just remind our viewers the quality that the Cannes has recognized 30 years after it hit our screens. Let's take a look at a trailer to that particular movie.
In a time when a generation had lost hope,
history is so beautiful it makes you cry.
One extraordinary young woman showed them the way.
What do you want, mistress?
I want the war to be over. I want the hate to be over.
Her inspiration opened their minds to discover the courage to create their destiny.
I want you to be proud of what we got right and tell the truth about what we got wrong and learn from it. Otherwise, what's the use of tomorrow if you don't learn? All you've got is today and today and today.
She's beautiful and she tells us the truth. And I love her because she's crazy.
You will do all the work and I go to sleep.
Through music, she opened their eyes.
Everyone laughing and singing.
I like that.
And with dance, she gave them hope for their future.
Sarafina, take one. Action!
Sarafina, coming soon to cinemas.
Mr. Anant Singh, I'm getting goosebumps just watching that trailer, and it's remained relevant throughout the years. And I wonder, in producing this film, were you intentional about the fact that you want to look back decades later and have the story resonate with people who would be watching it for the first time after 30 years?
Thank you. You know, and firstly, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I think Sarafina is a story about women, about youth, about mothers, and how they held the flag of the people of South Africa through those difficult days. But this is an inspiring story about young people having hope. And I think it was a different environment 30 years ago. We were just leading up to our election. It was our early movies. I think it was my third or fourth movie. It was Leleti's first movie. And, you know, we've all gotten a lot older, but the story and the timelessness of Sarafina remains relevant wherever we screen it. We screened it in the United States a year ago, and that screening was so moving. And what we decided was, well, we have to do something and re-release the film. So we restored it to a technology that is available today with IMAX and several other partners. And it's really exciting to be able to bring this film to Cannes, and that Cannes looks at thousands of films, about 5,000 films just for this one festival. And they choose, I think it's 12 movies or 13 movies for the classic section. And to bring us back after 30 years is a huge accomplishment, not only for us, but for everybody that was involved in the film, from actors to technicians to direction. It's really a celebration of, as the film's tagline was, celebration of hope, but it's also a celebration of our talent and our storytelling.
Ms. Leleti Khumalo, you did recall that 20 years ago when the film was first called to the Cannes Film Festival, it received a 20-minute standing ovation. Did you think when you were cast in the role of Sarafina that it would bear such importance and such significance in movies about women, about young people and about hope, as has been described by Mr. Singh?
It was done 30 years ago. When we did this movie, we were very young. We were young. I was coming from KZN, not alone in Johannesburg. And it has opened a lot of doors for all of us that you see in the movie, because opportunities opened after we did this movie. And yes, we did got a standing ovation for 20 minutes. It was unbelievable. I remember very well, even though a lot of things I couldn't remember. It was like 30 years ago, but that one, I still remember it as if it happened yesterday. People were clapping, stopping, clapping, stopping, and you end up didn't know what is happening. But it was history, I must say. It is still doing history, Sarafina, and it is still opening a lot of doors for the industry in South Africa, because I'm sure a lot of producers will come again and see what is it about South Africa.
Yeah, I want to stay with you for this one as well, Ms. Leleti Khumalo, working with big stars at the time already, the likes of Whoopi Goldberg. That environment that you were in as you were all putting the film together, do you remember what that experience was like and your engagements with the different actors on set?
I do remember very well. First of all, I remember that I was having fun with all the actors there. But there's this one that I remember very well. My first scene with Whoopi Goldberg, and I think that scene was postponed because I couldn't shoot that scene. I was shaking, I was sweating, I was everything. And she, Shame, asked me, "What is happening with you?" I was like, "I'm nervous. I cannot do this." And she was like, "No, take it easy. I am here. I'm going to guide you all the way." She was so sweet. I still remember that very well. And when I heard this news, I tried giving her a call. Unfortunately, I couldn't find her, but I left a message. But it was amazing, I must say. We all had fun. It has come into a full circle. It's unbelievable. It is still relevant even now. My son yesterday was like, "Mama, can I watch this movie again?" I said, "Go watch the movie and ask me everything that you want to ask me." The questions that came after that, I still answering them even now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mr. Anant Singh, your turn to reminisce on the production of this film. Some of the challenges that you faced putting this, what many will now call a masterpiece together. And do you find that those struggles as producers have persisted through the years?
Well, thank you for that accolade. But just to follow on Leleti's comments, I did speak to Whoopi and was in touch with her late last week. She was so excited that we're going back to Cannes. I mean, she was there with us for that 20-minute standing ovation. And she also said something to the effect of, "It's great that the youth and the story is being acknowledged again, and it's about time, and all the best." She can't actually be in can, because she does a daily show in New York and starts shooting like at about 7 in the morning every Monday to Friday. So our screening is actually next Sunday, actually around this time. So it really is great that she's going to be there in spirit, and she'll probably join by virtual link. But going back to your question and your comment, Sarafina was such an amazing journey because Madiba had just come out of prison. This story and the musical was very much a celebration of a story that Leleti largely carried throughout on stage, and then came along to do it in film, and she was resoundingly amazing. At one point, one of the companies that wanted to make the film said to me, "You know what? We want to make this movie, but we want to make it for, and then it was like $20 million." And we were making the film for, I think, under maybe $1 million or something like that. And they said, "But we want Whitney Houston to play the lead role." And I said, "I'm sorry, Leleti is born and is Sarafina, so that is not going to happen." And we did it ourselves, and the rest is history. But it's really such a remarkable journey that we had. And as we come back now and go to Cannes and be able to share this experience with a whole new generation of audiences. If you look at yourself and when did you see it? You saw it on a television set. Most of the younger people, 30 and under, saw it on TV. Now it's the opportunity to see it on the big screen. It's a whole different experience, and see it with your family, your children, etc. So we're really excited to be able to bring this back.
What's also exciting, Mr. Singh, is that you mentioned it very briefly earlier, but there's going to be the producer's cut. You have partnered with IMAX for that producer's cut, and you've just described to us that it's going to be a cinematic experience that we can enjoy with family and friends. When can we expect that for those sitting at home excited to relive that movie as they did years before?
Well, we're looking at a date right now. We're looking at probably end of July, beginning of August. And, we've also added footage that was not in the original version. And being Mother's Day, there's a great song which Miriam Makeba, and she's being honored in some music concerts I read this morning as Mother Africa and on Mother's Day. And Leleti and Miriam do this song called Thank You Mama, which is really a beautiful song that they both perform live on. And so that's added footage. We've got a few other scenes, some new footage at the end with the premiere with Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, and so many celebrities that were there and overseas. So it's, it's really probably end of July. First week of August is when we are looking at it
and Ms.
being released across the country.
Yeah, and Ms. Leleti Khumalo, I mean, you've remained in the industry and you've done different roles over the years since this particular movie. But have you found that we are still creating the kind of content and the kind of characters that are as inspiring as those that played in Sarafina?
What I like about the creativity in South Africa, it talks about what is happening in South Africa, and we shouldn't divert. It works for us. That's where we should go. And just to go out a bit, as the movie is going to be re-released again, I can't wait for the excitement of the new generation. As you know, that Sarafina is being done in all the schools in South Africa. I cannot wait for the excitement of the young generation to go out there and see for themselves what they have been doing. So this is amazing for the South Africans at large.
Yeah, no, thank you very much to both of you for joining us this afternoon. A very, very exciting time indeed. As someone who's watched it a few times, I will be honest, I'm happy to go watch it again at the cinema as soon as it's released to us all. Enjoy the time and, of course, the accolade that will be presented to you all at Canes. And thank you very much once again for joining us. That is Sarafina producer, Mr. Anant Singh, and one of the lead actresses there, Miss Leleti Khumalo, joining us this afternoon to weigh in on the accolade by Canes, a Canes classic as it's been dubbed now, and of course the fact that we'll all get a cinema experience of Sarafina late July, early August, as was indicated there.